Good morning, everyone. Today we are celebrating with Ginger Bush, who has recently reached 3,000 subscribers. It's quite a milestone. And so anyhow, she asked us if we wanted to celebrate with her, and I will have a list down below. I'm doing this ahead, so I'm pretty sure she will be compiling a list, and I will connect that to this, the drop-down menu. And she's at Ginger's Corner, if I didn't already say that. This is my third time trying to start this. So anyhow, all that she did was ask us to use scraps, do a layout or a card, or whatever we want to, using scraps. And I thought, well, even though I had wanted to make a recipe book, it was when she did hers that really got me thinking about how I could do it. And and I chose to do the 3-ring binder. So anyhow, I thought, well, I'm going to do a recipe page for it. So for her celebration. And so I am using Gingham Gardens by My Mind's Eye, and I had used this before, and in fact it may have used the same papers, I don't know, because these were the scraps in the book. And these I am using the same size that they were actually in my papers, or in my scraps. And then I did have another piece of this, and so I did cut that up, and I'm going to use that to mat the recipe, and also to mat the first picture in my recipe, which is butternut squash. And now I'm going to tell you that I am not a sweet squash person. I am a savory squash person. But anyhow, my friend made this recipe, and when I was at her house, she said, "You got to try this." And I'm thinking, oh, okay. and then it's like, and she said, "I made it yesterday, but it's always better the second day." So I was there on the perfect day. So anyhow, she's like, she set it down in front of me. She had heated it up, and I'm eating it, and it's like, I've had this before, but it's not quite the same because it wasn't squash. And then I realized the texture and everything was just like cinnamon rolls. So, and I'll tell you, if I was gonna be a sweet eater, it would be maple syrup, and that's what's in this recipe. So it's butternut squash, butter, maple syrup, kosher salt or table salt, you just use the last, ground cinnamon, and black pepper. And I will put a close-up of the recipe when I take the close-ups. And so even though it's called cinnamon roasted butternut squash, I'm gonna call it cinnamon roll, because whenever I make it, I call it cinnamon roll. And I think I've only made it like 3 or 4 times, not very many, but so good, so good. The reason I haven't made it a whole lot is because I just want to eat it all. So I have like all this, well, many of the steps, I took pictures of it while I was making it, and so I have like a series of pictures starting with the squash itself. And so I'm just gonna get started now. Okay, so I do have one paper that is from something else, but it was in with the kit, and I don't remember what it was from. And my background paper is from the Craft Consortium, and it's the same color, it's a wood grain, but the same color as the blue flowers. And my kitchen is supposed to have blue in it, or it's one of my colors, but even though it's like, it's really non-existent in my kitchen. And I think I've said that before. Okay, so I am going to, I think, really start with this because I want this kind of in the middle. And when I had already decided that I was going to be, you know, well, when I took the pictures, I took lots of pictures of it because I knew I would be scrapbooking it for my recipe book. And then when she said, you know, celebrate with me and just do something using scraps, I thought, well, I'll just use a bunch of those scraps from that one collection because it's very subtle, because my pictures are so much orange, so much color in them. So I thought that this would be a good one to use. And there's actually a big wrinkle in this paper right here, but I'm gonna slide it up into here. So by the time that I slide it up in here and put another piece of paper over it, I don't think it's gonna be that noticeable, and I glued it or tipped it down a little too far. Okay. So I'll put a little extra tape right on that one spot where the wrinkle is. And I'm gonna just kind of layer it close to that wrinkle because I just want a little bit of it showing. I just like the little bit of the orange flowers with my photos. I actually meant to make some of this make some of it with the, and freeze it so that I could just, you know, pull it out. But of course, every time we ate it all. Okay, so this was another piece that was in my scraps, and I'm just gonna put a notch in this end. Oh, and actually still have my hexagon shape out here, so my Fisker's punch, and I think it might be the smallest one or the medium one, I'm not sure. Does it say? Not that I can tell. Okay, so I'm just putting a little notch in it, and then I'm gonna run it right over to the side, so it'll pretty much cover up that wrinkle that's in the paper. Otherwise, I'm gonna use it again the length that it was in my scraps. Sometimes it's fun to pull out your scraps and the length that they are, just see what you can do with them. And that's what I'm doing today. Okay, and then I have this other one that has, and I know that I use this for one of my other recipe layouts because I remember all the words on it. So, I don't know, I guess it's just a good recipe paper. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of tuck that in a little bit. Not as far as I did the other one. And I'm just gonna make sure it's straight. I'm really excited about working on, now it's so funny because I get working on it and then I just wanna just continue with that and not do anything, do any other projects. But I'm kind of doing it as I get photos of things, so it's like if I don't have pictures of things, it's like I can't scrapbook it. Okay, so I have this, and I know that like a lot of the floral is not going to show through because I just really have it like, I think it's 1/8 of an inch bigger, so it actually only ends up a 1/16 of an inch on each side. And I guess a little more on the bottom, so I must have made it a little wider, or sometimes, you know, if I trim the thing, it's like it wasn't an exact measurement or whatever. But I like that. It still just gives a little bit of color because, like I said, the squash, the inside of the squash is just so colorful that I thought I don't need a whole lot of color, but I did want some. Whoops, and I set that down too soon. Let me try that again. Okay, so I'll have those both up there, and I think I can go ahead, well, let me see. I better kind of lay these out here. So I'm gonna have this, here's the squash before I cut it, here's the squash after I cut it, and then I cut it into cubes, and then you put melted butter on it, and I have my butter out here. Let's see. And then I'm putting the maple syrup on it. I'm putting cinnamon on it. Here it is sitting with all the ingredients. And then I have the, let's see, I kind of want this down more. And I might tuck that up underneath the picture just a little bit. And even kind of tuck those together. So they're kind of close in the height. And so here it is roasting in the oven, and then it gets all that golden brown on top of that orange, and then it looks like this, and it's making me hungry for it right now. And so I think I have to have it all laid out before I can do it. Okay, and then I have, and I trimmed this, so now it's like the outline of this was so, it had so much white on it, so I thought I'm just going to trim it down a little bit. And how did I have that arranged? I think I kind of had it like this, so maybe I had this up a little higher. No, that couldn't be. Okay. Oh, maybe if I have that over it a little bit. Okay. Oh, I think I maybe had it turned like this. I'm trying to figure out from my, did I have it like this? Oh yes, that's how I had it. Now it looks familiar. Okay, because I just kind of had it curved around, because then I'm going to put the title here. And so I think I'm going to get that glued down, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the pictures glued down, and I've got cinnamon roll on here, and I got the big bunch of flowers on there. And I did not have any O's left in this, so I used zeros, which was a lot better than trying to make an E, which is usually my case. And the letters I'm using are pink paisley again and again, and I actually have 2 E's left in this kit. I mean, look at how much of this is already gone. But I do have a lot of, you know, the end of the alphabet left. Okay, and then I have this head that says the best is yet to come. And I'm going to use that because, trust me, when I get it all made and put it in the oven, that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's so good. And if you end up making it, let me know if you think it tastes just like a cinnamon roll. And if it makes it to the second day, let me know if it's better, if you think it's better the second day or the first day. Okay. It does last to the second day with us. And I've got a big flower that I'm going to put on the other side. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to tuck this over here. I'm not going to push it down a whole lot yet because I'm going to put this little grouping of leaves there next to it. Okay, and I also have this lace. Ever since I got my dye of this lace, and I think I got these on sale at the same time. Did I get them at the same time as I got the leaves? I don't remember, but I was quite excited. I think they had them on sale at Hobby Lobby. And this was one of the ones I wanted. Okay, and I'm gonna start in the middle since I've got two sections here. I'm gonna start in the middle. And I'm just gonna slightly tuck them underneath if I can lift it up. I'm not going to touch or tuck much of it in. Okay. So I'm just putting the center of, or the end of them at 6. Oh, and it's one of those things that doesn't matter if I glue it at the top or the bottom, because once you tuck it underneath there, it's going to be stuck to either the bottom or the top layer. I love the little lace pattern, especially on recipe or food layouts. So I have that there. Now I have this little tab, and I'm not going to write anything on it because I have the actual title on it, or the recipe name, and then I've got what I call it on here too, so I don't see any reason to do that. I am going to stick a little dimensional underneath it because I just like the looks of it, even though it's not, you know, an actual one, since I don't have the title on it. I just like the looks of the, makes it look more like a recipe card. Okay. And then I have these, and I'm not sure what it came from, because I had it in my book, and I haven't made a plan to remember those. I should have wrote them down when I put them in the books, but I did not. So it's like I have no idea. I was fishing for it in my brain, but I have no idea whatsoever. I just thought they were so cute. So I thought I had to use them. And I took all these pictures myself as I was making it, because I thought, I know I'm going to put this in there. So that was kind of a trick, using your phone to take pictures as you're going. Okay, and I have these blue enamel dots, and they're the ones that are, they're not shiny, so they really don't stick well. But so I'm gonna have to put my glue down where I think I want them. but I thought this color looks so pretty with the flowers, so I'm gonna use them, even though they're kind of a hassle to put down. And let's see, I'm gonna put maybe just a couple over here. So I'll have one more recipe for my book. I'm excited about that. Then I'm already thinking about what's the next one gonna be. Because I know I have a couple of pictures, but I don't know if I like them enough to scrapbook them. Oh, and then I keep thinking about the front page, because I would like that to be kind of different. I don't want to cover up the love here, so I'm trying to. It's so funny how they don't stick to anything, or you know, on your paper, but they really have a hard time coming off this. Okay. Oops. Okay. So I think that is it. So that's my layout for Ginger's celebration, our celebration with Ginger. I mean, she's such a blessing. She's doing things for mothers who can't, you know, maybe have time to scrapbook or afford it. She's making out some little pages for them, and so her link will be down there too. And also, when she is having a contest or a drawing, and she's giving something away, and so go check her out, check the other girls that are playing out, and or gents, girls and gents, guys and gals, who's ever playing along. And I'm sure you'll see lots of beautiful layouts today using scraps. So that's fun. It's always fun to use our scraps. I mean, I had one that was like 6 inches long, right? Yeah, so I used 6 inches of it before. And then the other pieces were, you know, maybe, this one's not quite 2, and this one was about the same size. So got a whole nother layout out of that, and I just used the one new paper. So thanks for joining me. I will have close-ups at the end. I'll do a close-up of the recipe so that you can screenshot it if you want to make it. It is fabulous. I love it so much, and I think if you tried it, you'd love it too. So have a wonderful day, and I should see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.